Many people have complained about the Sony menu system, and to be honest, I know where they're coming from. It's not very intuitive, and some things are not where they're supposed to be, in my opinion. But I love the customizability that the Sony cameras offers. It's like an Android and an iPhone. An iPhone has everything you need, but with the Android, you can customize it to kind of get whatever you want out of it. Regardless, in run and gun situations, I don't want to be going into the menu settings to try and find something that I need to change. I want it to be accessed nice and quickly. So in this video, I'm going to show you how I programmed my Sony A7III's customizable buttons, so you don't have to do the same and get into that crazy complicated menu system. So welcome to another Quick Tip Tuesdays. My name is Camilo. Currently day 26 of quarantine, but I'm hanging in there, and I hope you are too. So the Sony A7 series of cameras, and I'm pretty sure the A6000 series too, have the ability to program the custom buttons for both video and photo modes individually, which is fantastic. So I'm going to go through the settings that I use to get the most efficiency out of my camera, and in some cases they overlap between photo and video, but I've tailored them to each different mode individually. Gotta clean that dust off, innit? So my custom keys for videos are as follows. For my custom button 1, I have it as white balance, and that's because it's the first thing that I need to set when I'm doing anything. That's why I have it at C1. Number 2 is peaking settings, because I use manual focus quite a lot. Sometimes when I have the peak off, that's because sometimes I need to see if the shot looks good without having to have all these red lights on it. C3 for me is the APSC / full frame selections. This comes in very useful when I have a prime lens. Okay, so C4 is my picture profile, and this one overlaps with the photo mode, because sometimes if I'm shooting on the video mode with picture profile 10 and then I go into photo mode and might have the picture profile, so I want to quickly just change it if I want to. Plus the 4 custom buttons, I also have the AF on button, which is clear image zoom. I use this function quite a lot in my video that I'll leave up here, which is how to do the dolly zoom effect that you see in the Jaws film. And also sometimes I might want to punch in if I have a prime lens, or now do take into account that every time that you use clear image zoom or APS-C mode, you don't lose much quality because it's a 6K sensor, but you do end up getting more noise because you're using less pixels. The AL button is my screen brightness. The middle button here in video I use for my audio record levels, because if I need to change the audio I can quickly do that. But obviously the joystick works from when I have to move the autofocus square. Okay, so my wheel, most people have it set differently, but my wheel is actually my ISO. So my left button is actually the autofocus and manual focus toggles. I can quickly toggle on and off, but with lenses that have more options, I have the right button for the focus mode. You know, if it's single shot AF, automatic AF, or whatever. My down button is actually my focus area, and I use this a lot because obviously sometimes you want to have flexible spot instead of just a wide zone. My middle button is what I use to punch in, just to check my focusing. So my up key changes the display settings, so it shows all these settings here, or it shows the histogram only, or it shows the little balancing meter. All the other settings that I might need, I have them in the function button here. So if I click this, I have the color of the peaking lines, because sometimes in certain situations red is not appropriate. I might need yellow or I might need white. I have the face / eye priority in autofocus. I have the subject detection here, so I can change between dogs and humans. Zebra's display right here as well. I have the center lock on autofocus function here in case I need to take that off or keep that on. Sometimes it's very helpful. For example, if I have it on, I can touch and it like tracks something. But if I have flexible spots and I want to move the flexible spot, I can't. This just keeps it tracking. But if I don't want it to track and I take this off, and I can actually move the point in the flexible spot. So say I want to move the camera and I don't want it to track focus, I just want it to focus on a specific thing in that area, that's what I would use. Next is the grid line. So if I want to have different types of grid lines, I have them right here. I have the anti-flicker shoot here, which sometimes works, sometimes doesn't. I have the type of marker display. This gives me the 1:8:5 ratio, and it has like thicker grid lines, anamorphic display shots. As well as that, I have the prioritized record media, because sometimes I want to record on the second SD card or the first SD card, so it makes it very useful to switch it from there. If I for some reason don't want to have steady shot on, I can change it here. If I'm using photos, I can change the file format. And if I want to change the frame rate of the S&Q function, I use it there. However, there are some options that you can't program to the function button or any of the buttons. And for that, I've made a custom menu, my menu 1. Here I have the record settings, the file format, the format a card, change between NTSC and PAL, record media settings. Is it going to be simultaneous, or is it going to sort something, or whatever? If I want to change what the memory 1 and memory 2 do, I can change it here. I can change my custom keys here if I need to change them for whatever reason, and I can change my function menu here. Also, I can change whether I want the monitor sensor to work or not, and then also front curtain shutter, because sometimes it comes in useful, other times it doesn't, depending where you're shooting and what kind of climate you're shooting. Okay, now in photography mode, it's a little bit different, but my C1, C2, C3 and C4 keys are exactly the same. My AF1 key is actually the silent shooting mode, because I don't actually find myself using the clear image zoom, because it's a photograph and you can just punch in. If I press the joystick button, it's not audio because we're in photos, so instead it's interval shooting. Function buttons are the same. In the directional pad, only the right key is different, which is the drive mode. The others are the same. So once again, the idea of this is to stay away from the menus. We know how complicated they are. Many menus, I mean, just look at this. Look how many. And I really don't want to be in them anymore. And ever since I've customized the camera to do this, I've been able to stay away from them, which is great. If this video helped, consider subscribing and clicking that notification bell and leaving it a like. And if you have any questions about my settings, make sure to leave them in the comments below and I'll try and answer them as best I can.